My number one most important job to get sailing as soon as possible is to put the mast on. But to do that, there's a lot of work that needs doing. The main thing standing in my way is having strong attachment points for all the stays. I've completed the main cap shroud, chain plate, backing plate, chain plates. You've seen me prepare all that, so I have the backing plates and the chain plates for that. But now I need to focus on the intermediate shrouds, which are halfway up the mast. So from these plans, which are a little bit out of date, it says that the intermediate shroud can go to an eye bolt, which is bedded into a beam. I've since been advised to take that shroud out to the cabin top, and I'll do that by making the cabin top strong and packing it with plywood. It's going to be a lengthy process, hopefully not too boring. On top of that, I need to make attachment points by packing out the hull with plywood for an inner forestay, so on 2 attachment points in the hull. And also I need to attach some lower shrouds and find attachment points for them, which is going to be a bit of a struggle. And also I need to attach the main forestay to my front cross beam. These plans only have it for a small wooden beam. I have a big aluminium mast section as my beam, so I'm not sure how I'm going to attach the front forestay. These things are really, in my head all the time. Also, this boat hasn't been sailed before, and I'm not sure what the builder had in mind for the original rig, and I'm not sure what the previous owner had in mind, but it looks like the ply packing pieces which support these attachment points have not been put in, so I'm just not sure, but I'm just going to put them in anyway. It's going to take a lot of tearing down, taking out foam and filling with plywood. It's going to be lengthy. It's hopefully not going to be too boring, but this stage of the refit is literally just going to be, it's going to be a slog, so stay tuned. This is the attachment point of the intermediate shroud. So the mast is over there and it's kind of coming down here at an angle, and so I have to take out all this, clear out all this, replace it with plywood. Let's go. I thought I could get it off in one piece. I can always make another one. As you can probably tell from the dark colour, there was moisture in here, and down here I kind of thought there might be. The plywood's not in too bad a condition. It's a bit demoralising, but I think the plywood's not in too bad a condition. I think. As you can see, the culprit is screws. Screws, screws, screws. So a little bit demoralising that the plywood is not fully dry. It's really not too bad, especially up here. Down here where there was water in the foam, it's not ideal. But the main thing is that these stringers are in good condition and there is zero rot in these stringers. These stringers will provide most of the strength for the actual chain plate. So I'm not too worried. I think it's going to be alright. But the question is, would you sail on this boat with me? I think a lot of people would see this and think, oh, but I think once it's dried out a little bit, it's going to be alright. So this is the other chain plate place. So yeah, all this black is damp plywood, but not super rotten. This is all really good. Even here, it's good. This is all around where the window frames are, because the windows were left open. This is the damage, I guess. 2 or 3 inches either side. It's just not going to be good. But these stringers are in good enough condition. It's absolutely disgusting in here, but this is where the inner forestay is gonna come to, or at least it's where I need to build an attachment point. I usually keep all my petrol cans and paint and stuff in here. It's not connected to inside this hole, so I'm just going to clean it out a little bit. I've already taken a little square out here to see that the plywood is all nice and dry, because I was very worried that it would be not very good. It's a little bit cleaner in here. Stinks though for some reason. Trying to work out exactly where this forestay bridle attaches to. It has to be at an angle, so it's pointing up towards where the mast is. And yeah, I've drawn out a loose shape, but yeah, it should be at 62 degrees. And I don't have a compass. And the car is broken, and if I go to the DIY shop, it'll just cost me so much time. The stringers are in really good condition. The plywood is not epoxy coated, but it's completely dry. But there's little screw ends poking through. So I'll have to buzz them off, but I need to get a proper cutting tool. I'll just pack this up with plywood and then a big long backing plate. But I need to do this on the other side, then I'll go to the shop and get everything that I need. So I've got a multi-tool bit now which will cut through metal to take care of all those little pesky screws. I've pretty much cleared now all the spaces there for the packing for the intermediate shroud. So yeah, next job is take out these screws and then cut pieces of wood to fit in. So I woke up this morning and I just thought to myself, I'm going to add one more stay, which goes here, which is 4 of the one which I'm going to put there, and then we have 3 stays. It's not too far forward that it will interfere with the Genoa for close hold sailing. So you've seen enough of me digging out these cabin tops, so how did that look? Did that look super rubbish? Just been trying to get all the packing blocks done, and I've pretty much got all the packing blocks done, but I haven't put the outside facade piece. It's taken me so long to cut everything to size and put it in, But yeah, the weather is not looking good for the next few days. But if I can just get all the pieces cut, then I can glue stuff in because it's inside. So yeah, I've been a little bit desperate, racing against time to get everything cut up, but I haven't quite succeeded today. I might be able to find somewhere to work inside tomorrow. We'll see. Woo! So hours and hours and hours of work later, we have 6 attachment points for my standing rigging. Whoops. So this all fits. Oh. So we have a fore intermediate shroud, an aft intermediate shroud, loads of offcuts. We have an aft intermediate shroud, starboard side, a fore intermediate shroud, starboard side. We have 2 inner forestay bridle chain plate places, so I've done the other side as well. All these panels fit like a glove. It's taken me absolutely ages to do all this, hence the reason why there was no video last week. I would like to get all this stuff completed in one video. So today it's not too bad weather, although I can do this work inside. I'm just gonna glue everything in, and that's also going to take a long time because it's 6 places, so nothing to do but crack on. So that's the process. I just need to repeat that 5 more times, and yeah, it's really surprising how much epoxy I'm using. Wow, 300 grams, 400 grams. So yeah, 5 more times, but I can do this work inside while it's raining. It's maybe, hopefully not too cold for epoxy. It's maybe around 9 degrees, something like that. I think the working temperature is about 10 degrees. But anyway, yeah, 5 more to do. So I finished filling everything in 6 different places, and yeah, today taking the screws out, sanding it all down, and then a big layer of fairing compound, and hopefully I can get it all flat. There are a few high spots and low spots, more sort of high spots really. But yeah, I have this little hand planer thingy-majiggy just to take the level down. It's really important that I get this completely flat so that the chain plate backing plates can sit nicely. So I can see there's a high spot here, so it's probably going to be this area taken out. Everywhere else looks pretty good. So I used up all my epoxy, which I've been weighing out, and I've really grown to love weighing out epoxy. It's much faster when if you need to just make up some more. With these pumps, they're quite slow. It takes a while. But yeah, I've dug out my old West system. This one's pretty much full, and this is the slow one. The weather is due to warm up, I think, tomorrow, and it's actually, I didn't even use the heater last night, so it is warming up. Back to the pumps. I had a bit of trouble with these pumpies, so hopefully it'll be all right. I do have a spare pump because the one on my little one failed. This one has some weird pressure on it. I've just added this microlight. This is a super light furring compound, really easy to sand. It looks a little bit like this. Hopefully it'll go on the surface and it won't be too painful. So I think I've got everything now that I need to fix my engine. Finally, I got the gaskets for this lower unit because this had oil in that was white, and obviously it was emulsifying with the water. Is that the correct word? I think I'm gonna have to drain the oil again. I'll replace the gaskets, get this on, get my fuel tanks hooked up. Hopefully I'll have a motorboat by the end of it. That was so difficult. Oh, the metal's so soft on these outboards, so when I did put the screwdriver in, it was obviously locked up pretty badly because it's just mashed the casing. So I've been silly again, I think. So it could be this drive shaft seal that's leaking, and I don't have a new one of those, and I've absolutely no idea how to take that out. I got this gasket, so I have one of these, which is the shifter seal. I have no idea how to take that off. Flipping heck. So I've just been looking online, and this is the drive shaft oil seal, and to take that out I need to take this out again. I need to remove the drive shaft, and I don't even have that seal. It's so it must be so boring to watch, because this is like the third time that I've had this lower unit off and there's not been much progress on it. Tempted to wait for my dad to come, because they're going to come at the end of the month again. He's good at this stuff. It's going to be tricky, and the more hands to get this drive shaft off, the better. I guess I've proved in this case that buying cheap engines are a bit of a false economy, because of just the amount of time that you could end up spending. If you know, it would have been difficult for me to know that there was water getting into the oil. I do suspect it's that top one, because it looks a bit oily where it should just be wet. Yeah, I do want to change it, and just have to be patient. Luckily I've got loads to do. I was just waiting for the epoxy to set. I can't believe that this is the second time I've had this off and nothing's happened. Yeah, I've just been waiting for the epoxy to dry, the fairing compound, so I will just get cracking and keep on with that until yeah, I need to order the parts. And yeah, sorry to lead you on with this. There we go, 2 new oil seals. The total is $37.85. Why do I keep doing this to myself? So these are all sanded down and everything is looking very flat. That'll be all for this episode. My next jobs, while I'm waiting for those engine parts, is I'm gonna basically make some chain plates, I think, and then chain plate backing plates. And I also need to bolt down my mast foot, so I know exactly where my chain plates are going to be. I need to work out where they're going to be. Sorry there was no video last week. It really was time consuming. There's so many little bits and bobs which if I filmed it all it would be boring, and I didn't really have enough footage for a whole video because I wasn't filming just the repetitive actions. So yeah, it's given me a little bit of extra time. 2 days for editing usually, and sorting the video out, so it's given me 2 extra days. I'm really sorry that it has been boring the last couple of episodes, but yeah, once this sort of slogging work is done, it should pick up a little bit. The weather was absolutely fine today. It was beautiful, and it looks like it may be warming up. So yeah, we're sort of past the midpoint in spring, and we're almost getting onto summer, where yeah, I mean, a lot of my progress is weather dependent and good times to come. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and yeah, all my PayPal givers, patrons, coffee givers, super thanks through YouTube. I really appreciate your continued support, because apart from these videos you don't really get much else in return. But yeah, it's obviously just you guys being so generous, and also everyone for watching and subscribing and commenting. It helps me out a lot with the videos and pushing them out to new audiences, so thank you very much. Okay, see you in next week's video. Bye bye.